Keep your applause going for your next storyteller, Pete Carboni.
Hello. Hi. So the background of this story is like I had a very bad relationship with my neighbor. He owned a house, and I lived in an apartment complex next door. He was running an auto body shop out of his driveway, which was like right next to my apartment. And so it was a real problem for me. It was really like messing with me and made me unhappy. So I went to him and I was like, hey, can you try to not do this? And he was not accommodating at all. And it got so bad at a certain point I called the police on him and filed a noise complaint. And after that he knocked on my door and he was like, hey, did you call the police on me? And I was like, yes, I did. And he was like, yeah, you can't do that. And I was like, okay, are you gonna stop like running this auto body shop? And he was like, no, man, but you can't do that anymore. And I was like, well, I'm gonna call again if you don't stop. He's like, all right, see what happens. And he's a bigger guy, so I'm terrified, but I was like, all right, well, maybe I will see what happens. And then he says, okay, you'll be reading about it in the newspaper from your hospital bed. And then he walked away, which is like a really complicated threat. It's like, I'm gonna be hurt, that's why I'm in the hospital. And he's gonna hurt me so bad, I guess, that I won't be able to remember what happened, so I'll have to like read about it. But luckily for me, he will beat me up in such a sensationalistic way that there will be press coverage. So I can just go into the newspaper and read what he did to me. So we're not on good terms. He has a 5-year-old daughter and a 7-year-old son, and Easter comes around and he buys them a bunny. And this bunny, in the morning, I go to my car and the bunny's just there, under my car, sleeping with its head like right underneath the tire. So I go to him, pretending he hadn't threatened my life. And I say hey, your bunny is under my car. Do you want to get it? And he got it. And this happened a few more times. And until one time I went to him and he said, I was like, your bunny's kind of under the car, can you come get him again? He was like, actually we're just letting it go. Yeah, and I was like, oh, there's nothing really to say to that. So I just went back and hated him even more now. He's now I hated this guy so much. I was like, all right, well, this is what it is. This bunny decided to make my car basically its home for whatever reason. So every morning I would come out to get into my car and there's the bunny looking a little worse for wear day after day. Looking a little more emaciated, a little dirtier, a little sadder and more tragic. And I started feeding the bunny. I was like, all right, I gotta do something. It was really messing with my head. I would actually wake up sometimes in the morning and my window looked out on the driveway. And I swear to God, there would be times I would wake up, look out my window, and the bunny was sitting there staring into my window. It was a very weird dynamic. And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna let this guy win. I need to take care of this bunny if he's not gonna do it. So I called a shelter. I spoke to someone there, and she told me to capture the bunny in a box and bring it into the shelter, which I did. And then she cleaned up the bunny. It was had some infection, and she, did her thing. And then she was like, you can leave the bunny here, and we could try to get the bunny adopted, but probably this bunny's not going to get adopted because it's a kind of standard white bunny, I guess. And she was like, we're probably going to wind up putting her to sleep, which is really fucked up. So I just basically rescued this bunny to take her to be executed. So I was like, I have to take this bunny now. So I take the bunny and I learn how to deal with bunnies. But you can litter train bunnies, which is an interesting thing. And so I litter trained the bunny. I was like, I'm going to be a bunny owner. I don't want to be, but like, I'm a bunny owner. So then one day I'm walking down the street and I see an interesting sign. It's written in crayon and it says, "Missing Bunny." And there's a child's drawing that's an approximation of a bunny. And as I walk down the street, there's like 5 different signs. So this guy had clearly not told his kid. So I'm like feeling terrible. I've stolen a bunny from a couple of kids, and I feel really guilty about it. One day, my neighbor Eugene comes over randomly and knocks on the door, and he's friends with this neighbor guy. And as we're talking, the bunny hops by. And he says to me, "Oh, so you have the bunny?" Like he's just caught, and I had to explain it to him and like beg him not to tell the guy what happened. And I was in a really sticky situation. I had a contraband bunny living in my apartment that I was hiding from my neighbors. And being the kind of passive person I am, my solution was I just moved. And I embarked on a life with a little white bunny.